Good morning and welcome. We are continuing our daily video devotions to the book of 1 Samuel with 1 Samuel chapter 19. And if you've read along with us, you'll know that yesterday in 1 Samuel 18, we talked about how King Saul grew jealous. He grew envious of David. And Saul grew jealous and envious of David because God was with David in everything that David did. So when David would go off to battle, he was spectacularly successful. And the people had began to take notice. And David was getting a little bit more credit than even Saul was for the military victories of Israel. And we talked about yesterday about how Saul grew so jealous of David, he tried to kill David. He threw a spear at him, tried to pin him against a wall at one point. And if you've read chapter 19 today, you'll know that chapter 19 is pretty much a continuation of Saul's jealousy. He's just so jealous of David. He's so jealous of the credit that David gets. He's so jealous of the attention that David receives that he continues to try to get hold of David, to harm David. And one thing that I've always just thought is so remarkable about David's story is how just incredibly patient David is. If I was in David's shoes and Saul had treated me the way that he treats David, and this will go on for quite some time actually in 1 Samuel, I can't begin to imagine how I would have responded. I can assure you it probably wouldn't be nearly as patiently as David responds. But that got me thinking about when we face adversity in life, when we face difficulty, when challenges come our way, how do we respond? How do we respond? Do we get upset over the difficult things we go through? Do we get caught up in how unfair it seems? Do we lose our sense of hope because we just let ourselves get so caught up in the moment and get so caught up over things we just can't control that we lose sight of our faith? We lose sight of the fact that even in times like that, God is at work in our lives. God is with us, and God is giving us everything we need to make it through. And see, that's exactly what David does. There's no denying that he's facing difficulty. He's facing challenges. What's going on in his life is definitely not fair. But David's patient. And David's patient because he's faithful. He trusts in God. He knows that even in the midst of those moments, God is with him and that God is at work in his life. And David trusts that God will bring him through. So think about that today and in the days to come as you face adversity, as you face challenges, as you experience difficult days. God is with you. God continues to love you, and God continues to be at work in your life, giving you everything you need to make it through. I hope you have a wonderful week, a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you on Friday for 1 Samuel chapter 20.